Have you ever woken up, stared out the window with a cup of tea or coffee in hand, and thought, why do some days just feel heavier than others? Not the kind of heavy that comes from lifting bags or bending down to tie your shoes, but the kind that settles quietly in your heart and mind. It's almost as if the world has slowed down a little too much, and the sparkle of joy feels like it's hiding behind the clouds. If you've ever felt that way, and let's be honest, most of us have, you're not alone. The truth is, happiness doesn't always come knocking at your door on its own. Sometimes you have to gently call it in. And one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to do that? Daily affirmations. Now, before you start thinking, oh, affirmations, that's just talking to yourself in the mirror, right? Let me stop you right there. Affirmations aren't about tricking your mind or pretending your life is perfect. They're about shaping your mindset, one thought at a time, to help you focus on the good, even on the days when your knees ache and the phone stays silent. Because after 60, life's beauty isn't about racing to the next goal. It's about feeling peace, joy, and contentment right where you are. And today, I want to share 5 simple affirmations every senior should say each day for a happier life. These aren't fluffy, empty words. These are small, meaningful sentences that can help brighten your mood, shift your outlook, and remind you that no matter your age, happiness is still yours to claim. So let's start with the first one, shall we? The first affirmation is, I am grateful for today. Now that might sound almost too simple, but hear me out. Gratitude is like the sunshine for your soul. When you start your morning by recognizing even one small thing to be thankful for, your warm blanket, the sound of birds outside, the fact that your heart is still beating strong, you begin your day on a positive note. Gratitude softens the edges of even the toughest days. You see, it's easy to let your mind drift toward worries about your health, your family, or what tomorrow might bring. But this simple phrase brings you back to the present. Saying, I am grateful for today, gently reminds you that today is a gift. Not perfect, but precious. And when you look at it that way, the little aches and pains don't seem quite so big, and the quiet moments start to feel a little more comforting. When you sit down with your morning tea or coffee, before you check the news or flip through your calendar, just whisper it to yourself. I am grateful for today. Feel how it settles into your chest like a soft, warm blanket. Let it stay with you as you go about your morning routine. Over time, you'll notice that the more you say it, the more you'll find to be grateful for. Now, let's talk about the second affirmation, which is just as important. I am strong, capable, and worthy. Life after 60 sometimes tries to convince you otherwise. Maybe your body isn't as quick as it used to be, or your memory plays the occasional trick, or you feel like the world moves a little too fast now. But none of that changes your worth. You are still strong. You've lived through decades of ups and downs, joys and heartbreaks, and every one of those experiences shaped the person you are today. That strength doesn't disappear because your hair turns gray or your joints make a little more noise than they used to. When you say, I am strong, capable, and worthy, you're not pretending you don't have limitations. You're reminding yourself that those limitations don't define you. Maybe you can't climb stairs like you did at 40, but you can still learn, love, and create. Maybe the world isn't knocking on your door every day, but you still have wisdom and value to offer. When you believe in your own worth, you start treating yourself with the kindness and respect you've always deserved. You could even write this affirmation down and place it where you'll see it. Near the bathroom mirror, on the fridge, or by your bedside. Let it greet you in the morning and tuck you in at night. Your mind believes what it hears often, and this is one message worth repeating. And now, as your heart starts to settle into this rhythm of gratitude and strength, let me share one more with you before we move forward. This third affirmation is one of my personal favorites. I choose to focus on what brings me joy. Because the truth is, life offers both the good and the bad on the same silver platter. Some days it's easier to spot the bad, the lonely afternoons, the doctor appointments, the quiet that fills your home when family is busy living their own lives. But focusing on joy is a choice. You can't always control what happens around you, but you can control where you place your attention. Maybe it's the way the morning sun dances across the floor, or the soft purr of a cat curled up nearby. Maybe it's the laughter you hear when your grandchildren call, or the simple pleasure of a good book and a warm blanket. Big or small, these pockets of joy are there, waiting for you to notice them. So when you wake up and feel that familiar tug of worry or sadness creeping in, remind yourself, I choose to focus on what brings me joy. Make it a habit, like brushing your teeth or watering your plants. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. It's like flexing a muscle you forgot you had. And that's the beauty of these affirmations. They're not magic spells, but they do have the power to change the way you experience your day. You're inviting a little more light into your world, no matter what your age or circumstance. Now that you've welcomed gratitude, strength, and joy into your thoughts, it's time to explore even deeper ways to nurture that happy, contented heart. You see, the beautiful thing about affirmations is that they aren't about pretending life is always perfect. They're about steadying your mind so you can handle life with grace, no matter what comes your way. And after 60, let's be honest, you've seen enough seasons to know that life doesn't always follow your plans. But each day you wake up and breathe in the morning air, you still have the power to shape your attitude. That's the quiet strength of a happy life. It starts right there in your thoughts. So let's talk about another powerful affirmation, one that might surprise you with how freeing it feels. It goes like this: I release the past and embrace the present. Now, I want you to pause for a second and really let that sink in. Because whether you're 60, 70, or 90, your past holds a lifetime of memories. Some are beautiful and bring a soft smile to your face. But others carry weight, regrets, losses, mistakes you wish you could erase. It's easy to let those old stories linger and take up too much space in your heart. But the truth is, the past is a place you've been, not a place you have to live. Every time you whisper to yourself, I release the past and embrace the present, you're giving yourself permission to stop replaying old hurts, old choices, and old disappointments. Because the present, this moment, right here, right now, is the only place where life actually happens. When you choose to let go of yesterday, you create room for today to bloom. It could be as simple as enjoying the sun on your face, or noticing the scent of your favorite meal on the stove, or hearing the sound of a loved one's voice on the phone. The present has so many small treasures waiting for you, if only you make space for them. And let me tell you, I've met so many wonderful people in their 60s, 70s, even 80s, who've told me, I wish I'd stopped holding on to old grudges sooner. Life is too short to let the past rob you of your peace. You are allowed to move forward, and you are allowed to find joy even after the hardest chapters. Now, once you've learned the art of releasing the past, there's one more affirmation that pairs beautifully with it, and this one speaks straight to the heart. I am surrounded by love and kindness. You might be thinking, well, that's lovely, but some days it doesn't feel that way. And I understand. After a certain age, it's not unusual to experience loneliness. Friends move away, family members get busy, and social circles shrink a little more than you'd like. But this affirmation isn't about the number of people in your life. It's about opening your heart to recognize love in all its forms, even the ones that don't shout loudly. Love can be found in the neighbor who waves from across the street, in the cashier at the market who remembers your name, in the birds that sing at your window, and even in the way you care for yourself. When you say, I am surrounded by love and kindness, you're reminding yourself to notice and welcome those gentle connections, no matter how small, and allow them to fill your spirit. And here's the magical part. The more you open your heart to kindness, the more you attract it. A soft smile shared with a stranger, a kind word to a family member, or a moment of quiet gratitude can start a ripple that circles right back to you. Even on quiet days, love is never far. Sometimes, it just needs your permission to be seen. Saying this affirmation daily, whether out loud or silently, is like planting little seeds in your heart. The world softens and your days feel a little brighter, even when the skies outside are gray. You become aware of the goodness around you, and you begin to realize you've never truly been alone. These simple phrases might sound easy, but they carry deep power. They're the small conversations you have with yourself that build resilience, foster hope, and invite peace into your life. And when you say them, even softly, they settle into your heart like old, trusted friends. As your day unfolds, as the sun rises and sets, and as the seasons continue to change, these affirmations become a quiet part of your routine, like the comfort of a favorite chair or the rhythm of a beloved song. Because the truth is, happiness doesn't just happen to you. You create it, one thought, one choice, and one kind word at a time. And as you carry these affirmations with you, releasing the past, embracing the present, and opening yourself to love and kindness, you'll find that even the simplest days start to feel rich and meaningful. Now, let's keep walking this path together and explore the final affirmation that ties everything beautifully into place. And now, as you sit with all these comforting thoughts, gratitude, strength, joy, the freedom of letting go, and the quiet presence of love, you've probably started to feel a little shift inside. It's the kind of shift that doesn't come from a new gadget or a fancy health supplement, but from something deeper. That gentle realization that happiness has always been waiting for you, right within reach. And there's one final affirmation that truly brings all the others together like the last piece of a peaceful puzzle. It's simple, but it holds a power that can turn even an ordinary day into something worth smiling about. The words are, "Every day is a new beginning." Now, I know what you might be thinking. At my age, can a new beginning still exist? And my answer to that is an honest, heartfelt yes. Whether you're 60, 70, or beyond, the beauty of life is that each morning offers you a clean slate. The clock doesn't care about the number of birthdays you've celebrated. The sun doesn't ask how many times your knees have ached or how many loved ones you've had to say goodbye to. It simply rises, bright and steady, inviting you to start fresh. When you say, "Every day is a new beginning," you give yourself permission to let go of yesterday's worries, yesterday's aches, and yesterday's doubts. You remind yourself that it's never too late to learn something new, to form a new habit, to laugh at a silly joke, or to feel excitement over something as simple as the first sip of morning coffee. This mindset doesn't erase your years, it honors them, while still leaving space for more stories to unfold. I've met so many people in their later years who discovered new passions they never knew they had. One woman I spoke with at 75 started painting for the first time, not to become famous or to fill a gallery, but simply because the act of creating color on canvas brought her peace. Another gentleman I knew began writing letters to his grandchildren every week, sharing wisdom and funny memories, and found a new sense of purpose in doing so. The key wasn't age. It was the belief that each day held something new. You see, it's not about chasing big, flashy changes. It's about waking up and allowing yourself to believe that there's still beauty left to notice, kindness left to give, and joy left to feel. That's the heart of this affirmation. When you start your day with those words, you invite possibility back into your life, no matter what the calendar says. And if there's one thing I want you to take away from this, it's that happiness isn't about waiting for everything to be perfect. It's about making the small choice, day after day, to see the good, to hold on to hope, and to remind yourself, I'm still here, and this day matters. So as we wrap up our little heart-to-heart today, I hope you can feel the quiet power behind these words. They're more than just sentences. They're tools you can reach for anytime life feels a little heavy or your spirit needs lifting. Start your mornings with them. Whisper them when you're folding laundry, write them on a sticky note for your fridge, or speak them softly to yourself before you drift off to sleep. Let's remind ourselves, I am grateful for today. I am strong, capable, and worthy. I choose to focus on what brings me joy. I release the past and embrace the present. I am surrounded by love and kindness. And finally, every day is a new beginning. The more you weave these simple truths into your daily rhythm, the more your heart and mind will start to feel lighter, even when the world feels heavy. And you don't have to walk this path alone, my friend. If this message spoke to you today, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What affirmation do you need most in your life right now? Which one will you carry into tomorrow? Let's build a little community right here, filled with kindness and encouragement, because one thing's for sure, when we lift each other up, we all rise a little higher. If this video brought even a little peace or a smile to your day, please take a moment to click that like button. It's such a simple thing, but it helps more people like you find this kind of uplifting content. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on more tips, gentle advice, and thoughtful conversations just like this one. Here's to you, to your heart, your strength, and the beautiful journey you're still on. You are living proof that happiness and growth don't have an age limit. So take a deep breath, lift your chin, and step into today with an open heart. Here's to living your best life at any age.